Hello and welcome to another tutorial of Warli Painting, where we are going to make a painting on canvas. To see the material and other details, you can also check the description box below. So let's begin. For this painting, I'm using a canvas, square canvas of 20 by 20 meter in size. And I'm going to cover it with acrylic paint. So this is a red acrylic paint that I'm going to use as the background color. Now, first of all, I poured the acrylic paint in my palette. And I'm going to mix a little water, as acrylic paint is water-based paint. So as you see here, I'm adding water in drops, very little at a time, not too much. Otherwise, you won't get that perfect consistency. So you just add water in drops slowly. Now, as I see that I need a little more water to, create that perfect smooth consistency. So add again a little bit in drops and mix it thoroughly. Mix it really well so that you see no granules left and the paint is totally creating that smooth texture with the water, and it's mixed really well. So we are going to apply it then on the canvas. Now as you see, this is not the traditional red color which is used as a Warli background, but I have used a little bit brighter red just to add a little different flavor to my painting. But you are free to use any red, the traditional red if you want to. So now as you see, first of all, I'm going to thoroughly cover the background with this red paint. So all around, even the corners and the sides. So the canvas usually has a border, on the side because it is folded on a wood and then nailed on it. So I'm going to also cover that part. So as you see, slowly I'm going to cover everywhere. Now you may notice that once you covered it with the paint of first coat, as you see here, we see a lot of strokes, and that is not actually what we need. So what we do is we cover it with another coat. And trust me, you will get that perfect red background, the smooth red background that we need for the painting. So this is again me covering it with another coat and trying to achieve that smooth background. And if you're new with acrylic paint and somehow you don't get it perfect also with the second coat, maybe because you added too much water in your paint, so what you can do is let the canvas completely dry and cover it with third coat. So you will achieve with the third coat of paint. So now as you see here, we'll cover it, and that's why I said to really mix it well. That is very important part. That is exactly what I wanted to tell you in the beginning, that mix the paint very well. Now as you see here, this is a 1 centimeter line that I have the border that I've created here. So I used a white color pencil to create that border, and I'm going to use white acrylic paint, and I have prepared kind of a mixture with, again, mixed it with water, and I'm going to paint the border, these lines that I've created on every side. Now for this painting, I'm using a very fine brush. So you can go with a round brush which is 000 or even finer according to your comfort. And I'm dipping it in paint, and I am just dipping the tip. I'm not using too much paint, otherwise I'll be ruining this fine line that I have to create. Now this border I'm going to make on all 4 sides, as you see on the canvas. And I'm just trying to slowly first do it on the one side, and I am actually trying to do it a little bit double line kind of border on all 4 sides, as you see here. So this is what we are going to repeat on all 4 sides before we begin with the actual border design that is going to come for this painting. So today's border design is really nice and interesting, and I'm using these tiny cute squares to make this border design, as you see here. So this is how we draw. We just try to create tiny squares in 2 lines basically, as you see here, and it's a super simple design, and it adds really beautifies the whole border. And once you make it, it really looks nice. And these tiny dots that I'm adding right now here in between the squares further beautifies it. So this is what we are going to repeat on all 4 sides. Now I'm just going to show you how we exactly do the corners, because corner is actually basically, it really confuses us sometimes, and we are just, stuck with that always when we make the border design. So it's very important part of any border to connect the 2 sides through this corner. And this is how we are going to do it. So I'll just do it a little bit more on this side and show you again. So these are just easy squares done and connected, and then we use these tiny dots to beautify it. So this is a very simple border design. So we are going to create this on all 4 sides and let it dry. And once the paint is completely dry, then we are going to make the main theme, the main design. So now my border is done and it's completely dry, and I'm using a white color pencil to just compose my work, to just see what I'm going to draw today. So to lightly sketch what I'm going to draw today. So if you're a very confident artist, you can also directly do it with brush. That would be really awesome. But if you aren't, so you can use just like this little white color pencil to draw what you want to draw on that. And today's theme, today what we are going to draw is a woman. She's sitting in her kitchen and she's trying to cook something in a pot, and she's just blowing the smoke because there's too much smoke coming out. So this is basically what we are going to depict today, what we are going to show through our painting today. And as you all know, Warli is quite inspired from the daily life. You may have noticed a lot of paintings which show basically what people doing, different activities, people doing the chores that we have to do every day, and that's what Warli is all about. And they actually show it through such simple geometric patterns, which is very interesting and makes it even more the highlight of any folk art. So this is one of my favorite folk arts of India, which is such simple motives and yet creating that life, expressing it with such simplicity. So that makes it more interesting. So this is how we do it. Once we sketched it a little bit roughly with the white pencil, I'm going to just use the white acrylic paint to cover it now. So this is basically the final thing that we are going to do. Now, as you see here, I made the circle for the face and I'm going to make the triangles for the body. So that is basically Warli style. You have to just, the placement of triangles, you have to put it in a way that shows whether the person is dancing, whether the person is sitting. So in this case, she is sitting down. So this is how you basically place the triangles. So such simplicity, you can express so much. So that is basically very interesting. And how you have to fold, what angles to be used to fold that person's legs. And so that you have to, these tiny details, you have to really take care, and you have to, maybe you can practice a little bit on a rough page so that you exactly get it right. Now here on top, I'm just creating her kitchen. So adding these tiny details here in a corner, that she has some pots there, some probably some ingredients that I use for cooking here on top. So basically, showing you this. And as you saw here, for the woman, we used a bun on her head, which is not used in case you have noticed any motive that is drawn for man. So basically, these simple things are used to express this art. That was the whole point behind explaining all these things, these tiny details. Now here again, creating that pot that we made in which she is cooking. So this is what we are doing here. And for the brush that I'm using here is a very thin brush. Probably you can use a round brush, a size 000, or even thinner, whatever you are comfortable with. And then adding some details again here. So I just forgot something here on the top. So quickly I'll do it. And I just left it. So we are going to finish it later. I'm just showing you quickly what all details are going to come. And I'm going to put the painting in the end, so that you can refer to it and you can see how exactly it looks like. Or you can follow me on Instagram and check out the feed there, and you will notice this painting as well. So this is exactly what we are going to do today, and just a little bit smoke, so making it more decorative, which you may have noticed in the last session that we did about what is folk art. It is a very decorative form of art, and in case you missed it, I put it the link in the description box below. So basically we are almost done with the painting. So today's painting is this minimal painting, but it looks really beautiful, and this painting is actually hanging in a corner in my room. And the tiny little detail that I forgot here, because it was looking a little empty, so I'm just adding a little bucket here in which she has probably water for the cooking. So this is it, and this is how our painting looks like. Please let me know in the comment box below how you like the painting. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. I see you next week. Stay tuned and stay safe.